very nice job by a very lovely lady in a very lovely settings as we look at the goaltenders for tonight. In goal on the left of your screen, Chico Resch, starting his 31st game for the Colorado Rockies. 8 wins, 14 losses, and 5 ties. And Mr. Everything on the right-hand side, Mike Liut, his 34th start for the Blues. 16 wins, and he leads the league in shutouts with 2.
The officials for tonight's game, Greg Medill is the referee, Bob Luther and Will Norris are the linesmen. There is referee Greg Medill. He'll drop the puck for the opening faceoff. Colorado dressed in their home whites, St. Louis in their road blues. St. Louis moving right to left on your screen, and Colorado left to right. Medill drops the puck. We are underway with NHL hockey here on ESPN. The opening faceoff controlled by the Colorado Rockies. Scrambling forward at center ice, Jorgen Pettersson comes away with it for the St. Louis Blues. Drops it back to Ed Kia. Return pass to Pettersson. Fanned as he tried to feed the puck in. One of the players has lost his stick. That's Pettersson. Meanwhile, the Rockies head for the St. Louis zone. That's broken up by Brownscheitel. And the puck driven in by Dunlop. Dunlop with it in the Colorado zone. Right out front. A shot. Resch makes the save. He's down. Pettersson could not get the handle on the puck. Resch back up again. The Rockies trap it up along the boards. Close call in the opening seconds for the Colorado Rockies as Resch made the first save and almost didn't make the second.
We'll look at it again. You see number 10 in the blue, Wayne Babbage, wheeling around, taking the shot. Resch makes the save. Then there's Pettersson actually past the net, trying to tuck it in over a fallen Glenn Chico Resch. But the Colorado Rockies able to freeze the puck as there you look at Chico Resch. We had a chance to talk to him. Things just a little bit different here in Colorado than they were with the New York Islanders.
He's got a good attitude about the whole thing, though, Pete. You have to like what he had to say. Another shot. Resch turns that away as the shot fired by Curry. Colorado with the puck in their own zone now. We are just underway here in the opening moment. 2 shots on goal for St. Louis in the first 34 seconds as they come out smoking here in the opening moments. Now here's Jim Dotson moving in, drives his shot, and he fires it wide to the right. Dodson just picked up a few days ago from the Minnesota North Star organization. Now St. Louis back to the Colorado blue line. Curry in across, but offsides is the call, and we'll have a face-off just outside of the Colorado blue line.
As we look at number 21 of the St. Louis Blues, Mike Zook. Mike actually carrying that puck there, and instead of getting it over that line before he was making the play, he pulled the puck back as the Colorado Rocky defensemen were standing up on the blue line, made him stop. The wingers were going, and a face-off. We're early, 1 minute into this first period, no score.
Colorado with the puck. They clear it out to center ice. Curry there to knock it down. Curry moving in on the right side. Takes the shot. Resch saves it. Karem's back of the goal. Centering pass out front. Intended for Sutter. His shot goes wide to the right. And Colorado comes out of their own zone with it. Early pressure by St. Louis here at McNichols Sports Arena in Denver, Colorado. Sutter fires the puck right back in again. Resch way out of the goal. Steers it to the far corner. Rockies fire it around the boards. LaPointe trying to hold it in, but it's picked off instead and cleared out to center ice by Broughton. Again, St. Louis intercepts. Rockies with it in their own zone, and they clear it out to center ice. Down into the St. Louis end. This is Rick Wilson back after it. Number 1 draft choice of the St. Louis Blues. They have several number 1 draft choices.
8 or 9 we counted today, didn't we, Joe?
Right. Here's Barry Turnbull, another one of those number 1s. In the Colorado zone. Kitchen trying to cut him off. He takes the shot and it flies through the crease area. More of a centering pass than anything else. Baker holds it in for St. Louis. Back of the goal. Centering pass out front for Turnbull. Rebound fired over the top of the goal.
And the Rockies
come close again.
The Rockies having a lot of trouble inside their own zone early in this first period. They actually came up and started a hit, but most of the play is being inside the Colorado zone. As we'll look at this again, another close call in front of Chico Resch. The puck here is shot out to number 9, Perry Turnbull. He goes in on the backhand, misses it, and then you see number 19 coming in late
Dunlop
for the St. Louis Blues, Dunlop, and the puck is deflected up and over, and we have a face-off to the right of Glenn Resch.
Face-off controlled by the Rockies, but Resch has to come out, steer it back at the goal. Here's Rob Ramage with it. Checked by Mullen, gives up the puck. Dunlop comes away with it out front to Hart. He drives his shot. That hits traffic, and it's cleared away to the blue line and on out to center ice. Now Malinowski back for Colorado. First shot on goal, and he drives it. Rebound, they score! McMillan! Bobby McMillan. It's 1-0 Colorado. 2 shots on goal, and the Rockies are on the board.
An excellent play as Merlin Malinowski speared that puck out of the air. Took the pass from Donnie Lever. Here you see Bobby McMillan, who just recently acquired from the Calgary Flames. Here you see the puck. Malinowski spears it out of the air. Here he comes in, actually almost a 2-on-1. Lets a good shot go on Liut. Liut makes the save, but here comes Mac coming in late, puts the puck behind a fallen Mike Liut. And the Colorado Rockies take an early 1-0 lead. That's McMillan's 9th goal of the season. An assist from Malinowski, and I'm sure Don Lieber will also get one.
2:31 time of the goal. Here the Blues back. Shot hits the outside of the net. Cleared away to the side by Micheletti. Now Dodson along the near boards. Blues back. Crombeen with it. Crombeen fires it back of the goal. Near corner they come with it. In pursuit, Wilson along the near boards. Brownscheitel moves in. They tie it up there. We'll have a face-off coming up. So we have a stoppage of play. The score, Colorado 1, St. Louis nothing. On the face-off, the puck in the center ice area. Brownscheitel sends it back to Kia. Brownscheitel in his own zone now. Colorado leads it 1-0. All the action had been around the Colorado goal. They have exactly 2 shots on goal in the first period, and they've scored. St. Louis has had most of the pressure, however, throughout the early going here in the first period. Kia in his own zone. Brings it rink wide for Lapointe. Knocked away by Broughton. Broughton drops it out front. A shot by Tambolini and a save by Liut. We're going to have our first penalty of the game coming up. And
there'll be a penalty.
That's a pretty good penalty by Lapointe.
Yeah, nice play by Aaron Broughton. You look at Aaron Broughton here. He'll put his man wide open here. Here he throws it across. Here's number 14 coming in for the Rockies. Steve Tambolini. Lapointe has to pull him down. And the Colorado Rockies get their first power play, something that hasn't been that well for them this year. As we look at Steve Tambolini, the leading scorer for the Colorado Rockies so far. The power play this year for the Colorado Rockies, they are 24 goals and 160 chances. Not good. They are 21st, dead last in the National Hockey League in power play. The penalty killings for St. Louis, they have are 10th in the National Hockey League right now. They are operating at 79.3%.
On the power play, the shot fired by Micheletti. They bring it out to Ramage. Colorado on the power play. Micheletti a drive. Liut makes the save. Rebound. Tambolini save. Liut rebound. Ashton another save by Liut. 3 big saves by Mike Liut, and especially difficult were the saves off Tambolini and Ashton.
Well, you can't say enough about this man, Mike Liut. First All-Star last year, runner-up for the most valuable player. Just an outstanding game on our ESPN telecast the other night. Here you see the shot from number 6. Micheletti here. Liut makes 1 save, and you notice how quickly he gets on his feet, and that's what a goaltender has to do. You don't want a goaltender sprawling down and then unable to get up. Always keeping that puck ahead of him. A couple of key saves by Mike Liut.
Face off in the St. Louis zone, held in by Ramage, trying to get it up to Broughton. Now he gets the return pass, drives the shot, and Liut there again to make the save. Aaron Broughton with it, brother of Minnesota North Star Neil Broughton. Broughton, here's corner, dumps it into Tambolini. Tambolini cranks off the wrist shot, and Liut may have gotten the blocking pad on that. This is Tambolini back of the goal with it, looking for somebody out front. Steers it to the far side. They bring it out to the left point to Micheletti. Moves to the middle, now feeds it over to Ramage. Ramage trying to whip a pass across to Ashton. Another save by Liut. And again, the Blues failed to clear it out. Back of the goal, Liut way out of the goal. Kia feeds it to Zook, intercepted by Micheletti to hold it in. Puck lying loose, Tambolini there to pick it up for the Rockies. Dumps it back out to Broughton. Broughton with it. He's checked by Crombeen, gets it off to Tambolini, intercepted by Brownscheitel, looks for an open spot, couldn't find it. Micheletti there to hold it in. Micheletti with it, dumps it back of the goal. Kia comes away with it now. Got it by Broughton, now Brownscheitel with it, off the boards, and they finally clear it out to center ice. 40 seconds remaining in Lapointe's penalty time. Rockies with an excellent power play thus far. They have really put the pressure on it. Looking much more adept than their statistics would indicate they should be on a power play. Bring it out to Ramage at the right point. Drops it back in deep. Return pass for Ramage. Can't hold it in. They'll have to get back onside.
The Blues are hurting tonight. Probably one of the best penalty killers in the league is out with injury. Larry Pate not in uniform for the Blues tonight.
Here's Bobby McMillan. Puck dumped into the St. Louis zone. McMillan in after it. Crowd up as Kia had Malinowski all tied up. They bring it out front to Sorella. He drives the shot. That's deflected by Hill. Picked up by the Rockies. Malinowski with it. Malinowski out front. The Blues are back at full strength as LaPointe is back on. Puck still in the St. Louis zone. They tie it up along the boards. It's kicked loose. Malinowski in there battling for it. Along with Catola. Now Kia finally clears the puck out to center ice. And hustling back after it for the Colorado Rockies is Graham Nicholson. Nicholson whips it back out to McMillan at center ice. We have 13:46 to go here in the first period of play. The Rockies are on the board and they lead it. Puck in the blue zone again. Zook feeds it back to Sutter. Brian Sutter into the Colorado zone. He has Dobson in front. Drop pass. Quick shot. Resch. Glove save. Hangs on. Stoppage of play to score. Colorado 1 and St. Louis nothing.
Zook?
Yeah.
Mike Zook.
Your jacket will be at the Rockies.
Okay, I got it. Got it. Here we'll look at that play by Brian Sutter. He goes in, throws a perfect drop pass to Mike Zook. He lets it go fairly low. Resch moving to the other side, gets his glove on it. A good save by Chico Resch.
Face-off control by the St. Louis Blues with the puck in the Colorado zone. Rick Wilson clears it around the boards. Sutter after it. He's tied up by Ramage. Along the near boards, they tie it up there, and we will have yet another face-off coming up. Colorado leading it 1-0 on the goal, and 2:31 by Billy McMillan.
Billy's the GM. They got the brother.
Bobby, right. Bobby McMillan.
Billy and Bobby and their McMillans. Bobby always was a goal scorer. He played with the Rangers, with St. Louis, Atlanta. Had a couple of good years, 40 goals one year, but it's moved around a little bit. He gets the first goal for the Colorado Rockies here tonight.
Puck back in the St. Louis zone, cleared out to center ice. Curry has it. He dumps it back into the Colorado end. And we have a penalty coming up for, it will be a tripping call, I believe.
That is going to be interference, Joe, and I was watching that play, and Sutter actually just jumping to avoid the Colorado player, jumping just to get himself in the open, and Greg Medill just saw Jim Dobson. Actually, Dobson did do a thing. I'm not sure whether we'll be able to get this one or not, but Dobson goes to the penalty box nevertheless.
7 minutes, the time of the interference call on Dobson. St. Louis with their first power play opportunity of the game.
Dobson just called up today. In fact, in the morning we were speaking to the officials. The coach, Marshall Johnson of the Rockies, there was made no mention of Dobson being in the lineup, but come game time, he was inserted in, off 2 minutes for interference.
St. Louis on the power play. Brown Scheidel at the left point. Feeds it rink wide. A drive by Wilson. Saved by Resch. Steers it wide of the goal. Brown Scheidel trying to hold it in. It's picked off by Lever. Lever, one of the better penalty killers in the National Hockey League. Another one of the recent additions here in Colorado. Now the Blues right back again. Dunlop goes right through the defense. Puck slides into the crease, and Glenn Resch comes out and covers up on top of it to stop play.
St. Louis right now are 17th. Their power play is not working for them. As I mentioned, 17th in the National Hockey League. They have 34 goals and 186 chances. The penalty killing for the Colorado Rockies operating at just over 72%. They are ranked 16th in the National Hockey League.
On the face-off, the Blues control. This is Brown Scheidel, left point. They'll work it around, trying to get it through the box if they can, get the best shot. Wilson drives the shot, hits traffic. Babbage, rebound, save, they score! On the second rebound, it's put in by Blake Dunlop.
Well, Babbage takes the shot. Resch makes the first save, and this is what we mentioned so often. You can expect your goaltender to make save number one, but you can't expect them to make the second and third saves. Here we'll see the play starting from the right point. You'll see the shot. Here it'll go wide of the net. It'll come right to Babbage. Here Babbage takes the shot. Now look at Resch. Resch will make that save, lose it momentarily. Here's Dunlop coming across the crease, gets a power play goal. And we have a tie. The Rockies won and the Blues won.
9th goal of the year by Blake Dunlop. The assists will go to Babbage and probably Rick Wilson. 7:37 the time of the goal. So we have a 1-1 game as the Blues score on the power play. Puck in the St. Louis zone. Baker dumps it to the far corner. Jerry Hart just back in the Blues lineup with it. Baker starts Zook out. Right wing pass off the skates of Joe Mullen. Return pass intended for Zook. Broken up at center ice. Now the Blues have it again, and Mullen dumps it into the far corner. Going back after it, Nicholson. Nicholson sends it around the boards, unable to clear it out. Held in by Turnbull for St. Louis. Turnbull gets the return pass, moves in, quick wrist shot. Resch kicks that out of there. Zook dumps it back of the goal to Turnbull. He tries to feed it out front to Mullen. Mullen looks out to the left point. Picked off by Tambolini of Colorado, and he heads back to center ice with it. Right wing pass for Broughton. Broughton return pass for Tambolini. It's dumped down the ice by the Blues, and this will bring icing, and now they wave it off. They wave the call off. We have 11:14 remaining here in the first period. We are deadlocked at a goal apiece. Hill dumped hard. Here's Crownbean to drive, but the defenseman goes down. Lorimer to block that. A shot. Resch kicks it out of there and clears the puck out to center ice. Chico Resch, one of the more active netminders in the National Hockey League. Here's Kevin Maxwell back for Colorado. Drops it beside the goal. Puck comes to Hill. Hill along the near boards, clears it back out to center ice. Micheletti back after it. Klassen after him. Micheletti in his own zone has some problems, goes down. We have a penalty coming up. We have a stoppage of play with the score Colorado 1, St. Louis 1.
Okay. All right.
9:20.
9:20 of his first period, Ralph Klassen.
For hooking
Number 6.
at 9:20.
Yep. Joe Micheletti. You'll see Joe Micheletti coming behind the bench. Yep. Here we see the Colorado player Joe Micheletti going behind his own net, a penalty that Ralph Klassen should not have taken. Here he gets the stick up underneath Micheletti, pulls him down. 9:20 of this opening period. Klassen off 2 minutes for hooking. The Rockies their second power play opportunity of the game.
They're 0 for 1 in power plays. They failed to convert on the first one. Theirs was a full-strength goal. We are tied at 1 apiece. I'm Joe Boyle along with Pete Stemkowski here at McNichols Arena in Denver, Colorado, home of the Colorado Rockies, and they are on the power play right now. Clear it out to center ice. Here's Lever back for the Rockies. Takes the screen from McMillan. Now Malinowski screens for him. Passes off to McMillan. Feeds far side. Micheletti drives the shot. Hits traffic. Malinowski back out front for Micheletti. Sorella with it. Drops it off on the near side to Lever. Back to Sorella. Now Lever with it. St. Louis in that defensive box. McMillan. Return pass. Lever. Sorella holds it in for McMillan. Goes back at the goal for Malinowski. He's checked by Kia. Goes down. Still has the puck. Dumps it back. And it's picked up by Lever. Lever had McMillan out front. Couldn't get it to him. Malinowski trying to center it. Kia there to break that up. McMillan goes in along the boards. Kia comes in, picks up the puck, but it's held in by the Rockies. 58 seconds remaining in the penalty time. Sorella was all tied up. Couldn't get his stick down on the puck. They bring it out to Micheletti at the left point. Micheletti in for McMillan. Drops it back for Sorella, who's in deep now. Lever has picked up his position on the right point. Micheletti moving in. Micheletti with the shot. That hits traffic, and it's cleared back down into the Colorado end.
Rockies doing a good job of throwing the puck inside the St. Louis Blues zone, but unable to get a good shot on Mike Liut. The key here, I feel, for the St. Louis Blues is Eddie Kia just doing an outstanding job, Joe, of keeping the front of the St. Louis Blue open. And one thing I've noticed on this Colorado Rocky power play, and if you are on a power play and you're inside the other team's zone, if you're standing there and there isn't anybody with you, you're not doing your job. On a power play, you need constant motion. You work for that one good shot on play. I noticed that the Colorado Rockies, particularly on this power play, had spread themselves out too far. And what they were doing is this, they put the box, St. Louis put the box in, the Rockies unable to get a good shot so far on this power play. 20 seconds left to go on that penalty to Klassen.
This is Aaron Broughton, back of his own goal with it. 8:53 remaining in the first period. 11 seconds remaining in the penalty time. Tambolini has the stick, or the puck knocked off his stick, and we want to remind you while we have the chance that Howie Meeker's Pro Tips will be coming your way between periods of our NHL telecast here from McNichols Arena.
Yeah, we'll have defensive hockey. We'll continue the series with Larry Robinson, Kevin McCarthy of the Vancouver Canucks. You'll catch that on our first intermission. Pro Tips with Howie Meeker. Interesting. We've looked at Steve Tambolini, the leading scorer. The Rockies, not a big scoring club. In fact, they are the lowest scoring team in the National Hockey League after 40 some odd games so far. Their leading scorer has but 34 points, and that's Tambolini.
Comes out to the point, a quick shot taken from there by Kitchen. This is wide on the right. Ramage drives it back at the goal. Wilson back to pick it up. He headmans for Dunlop. Now Curry across the Colorado line. Curry trying to get by the defenseman. We got a penalty coming up. We'll get that for you when we return. Our score, Colorado 1, St. Louis 1.
All right, we got Kitchen for tripping, 11:35. We'll look at who's number 15.
At 11:35.
Tony Curry beating Kitchen, gets a step on Mike Kitchen on the outside. All right, we got it, Joe. How you feeling?
Good.
I love your shirt. Here we see Tony Curry getting a step on the outside on Colorado defenseman Mike Kitchen. Here Kitchen throwing his body out in front of Curry. And referee Greg Medill right there as we see Kitchen in the penalty box. That penalty for tripping coming at 11:35. The Blues on their second power play.
And they're 1 for 1 in power plays. They capitalized the first time they had the one-man advantage. Curry drops it beside the goal. They tried to feed the man moving in from the right side. That was Sutter. Couldn't get the puck to him. Rockies clear it out to center ice. Zook has it back for Brownscheitel. Return pass for Zook, and he set sail for the Colorado end. Ran into a pretty solid check out there by former teammate Joe Micheletti, and he's turned back. Brownscheitel. Now Zook into the Colorado end. Broughton in pursuit, catches up with the puck. Lost it back at the goal. They feed it over on the far side to Zook. Zook return pass for Sutter, tried to jam it in. Micheletti down to block that. Here's Brownscheitel in close. Drops it off on the near side for Curry. Back out for Brownscheitel. Curry, now Brownscheitel right down the slot, took the shot, deflected by Ashton, dumped back at the goal, and it's picked up by Sutter. Sutter's pass knocked down by Micheletti. Zook back for Curry, tried to jam it in. Resch out of the goal, shot by Zook, kicked out of there by Resch. Resch stopped Zook from about 10 feet away on the left side. 48 seconds left in the penalty time. Brownscheitel a shot, and Resch got the blocking pad on that, steered it away. Back of the goal, Zook with it. Zook trying to put it out front, and Resch comes out of there with the puck rolling along his glove. That brings the whistle. That gives us a chance for us to remind you about a college basketball tripleheader coming your way Saturday, January 9th. It starts at 1:30 Eastern Time when Louisville takes on Virginia Tech. Then at 8 that night, Eastern Time, Maryland faces Duke, and at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific Time, Brigham Young takes on Wyoming. All the action is live, and it's all coming your way Saturday, January the 9th, here on your Total Sports Network, ESPN.
Well, some anxious moments in front of goaltender Glenn Chico Resch. Still 35 seconds to go in the tripping penalty to Colorado's Mike Kitchen.
Face-off controlled by the Rockies, and they clear it down the ice as Kevin Maxwell got the draw and dumped it down into the St. Louis zone. Now here's Bill Baker back for the Blues. A victory tonight would give the Blues sole possession of first place. First time they've had that this year if they can come away with a win. Colorado has been playing much stronger hockey of late.
They've, in their last 5 games at home, Joe, they've won their last 4, so their record has been improving slightly. They have to take dead aim in that Smythe division at the club that's closest to them, ahead of them. That's the Los Angeles Kings.
Here's Pedersen moving in, got the shot off, missed wide on the left. Resch may have gotten the blocking pad on it. And in to pick up the puck is Kitchen. Colorado back at full strength now as the penalty time has expired, so the Blues fail in their second power play opportunity. LaPointe gets the puck to Jorgen Pedersen. He lost his footing. Kitchen sweeps in, picks up the puck, looking for somebody to pass to, takes the shot. Saved by Liut. We have another penalty coming up. So with the stoppage of play, we'll remind you the score, Colorado 1 and St. Louis 1.
Bill Baker. their third power play, right?
Bill Baker, 2 minutes for holding.
Okay. What was the penalty for?
13:59. Baker for holding at
Who's the Colorado guy?
13:59.
Kitchen.
Kitchen? Yeah. Bill Baker just recently acquired. You remember him from the United States Olympic team a couple of years back. Takes the penalty, pulls down Colorado's Mike Kitchen. There he is, Bill Baker. He's been with Montreal and
With this club.
with Colorado and finally with St. Louis. Just been unable to get on track in the National Hockey League. The Colorado Rockies now have their third power play chance.
Here's Klassen, shorthanded for St. Louis. Resch has to make the save. Picked up by Malinowski for Colorado. He starts Lever back, drops it back for Micheletti. Micheletti dumps to the far corner. Kia, Lever, Malinowski all in after the puck. And Lever takes Kia to the boards. He goes down. Malinowski comes away with the puck. This is Micheletti, left point. Malinowski in front to Lever. Just missed wide on the left-hand side. Didn't have too much on it, but he might have had Liut beaten as the puck just missed wide on the left-hand side. Blues pick it off, clear it down the ice with 1:15 remaining in the penalty time to Baker. Resch sets it up for Micheletti. We have 5:15 remaining. First period of play. We are tied a goal apiece. St. Louis with the power play goal. This is the third power play opportunity for Colorado. They have not been able to count on the power play thus far in the game. Zook with it off the boards, picked off at center ice by Broughton. He has to wait for his teammates to get on side. Nil ties him all up. Crowd wants a penalty. Quick shot that's fired to the near corner. LaPointe with a shot. Resch has to make the save on that. Cirella with it.
There'll be a penalty to the St. Louis Blues for taking out Chico Resch.
Got a penalty, delayed penalty coming up. Resch heads for the Colorado bench. He's not going to make it before the Blues catch up with the puck, however. That'll bring the penalty call right there.
Joe, I'm anxious to see what referee Greg Medill is going to call, because if the goaltender leaves his goal crease, he is fair game. He can be taken out. Now,
I think he called interference, but I'm
Jimmy
not sure.
Nill hit Chico Resch. Resch went out of his net to clear the puck. Nill hit him, not a hard check, but he'll get 2 minutes. Here we see Resch out of the net. Here's Nill, just gives him a little shove, really. Nothing that serious, but Medill calls the penalty. And there you see on the left of your screen, Bill Baker. On the right of your screen, the youngster who had played for the Canadian Olympic team a couple of years back, Jimmy Nill. The Colorado Rockies have a two-man advantage.
They'll have that two-man advantage for 29 seconds as Nill goes at 15:34 interference. Then it will be a one-man advantage for a minute and 31 seconds after that. Face-off in the St. Louis zone. Very important face-off for St. Louis to win. They do not. Ramage with it. Ramage drops it off on the near side for Tambellini. Back out front to Ramage. Broughton over to Tambellini. Takes the shot, and Liut there with the glove save.
Joe, the important thing on this two-man advantage, it's 5-on-3. The thing to do really is to have the two wingers take out the two defensemen. Then that leaves a 3-on-1. Here you see it shot by number 14, Tambellini. Liut absolutely no problems on it at all. Just 17 seconds to go on that first penalty. 5-on-3, an important face-off deep inside the St. Louis Blues zone.
Face-off slides into the crease. Liut covers it himself, and he clears it out to center ice. Aaron Broughton with it. Back to the St. Louis zone. Just 5 seconds remaining in the penalty time to Baker, and he'll be back on. Ashton gets the return pass. Out front, it goes behind the man he had intended it for, Rob Ramage. Baker's back on. It's a 5-on-4 situation now for the Rockies.
Joe, the
looked
power
very
play.
good in their first two power plays, and this one they have not done much.
The power play the other night on our ESPN telecast was a big factor in the Blues beating the Minnesota North Stars. They picked up 2 power play goals. On the power play, you have to practice that thing all the time. You practice it the morning of your skate, that morning of the game. On that particular play, as I just mentioned a couple of seconds ago, you have to use the elimination. Go in and take men out. You got a 3-on-1 and work for that one shot on goal. 53 seconds, 50 right now on that second St. Louis penalty.
Cirella heads back to the blue zone. Kia takes him to the boards. Now Brownscheitel goes in along with Tambellini. Tambellini comes away with the puck. His pass deflected. He gets the return pass. Just 40 seconds left in the power play. Cirella drives the shot. That's knocked down by Baker. Micheletti can't hold it in. And the puck cleared back down the ice again by Mike Zook for the St. Louis Blues. Excellent job of penalty killing this time around for the Blues as they've risen to the occasion. Colorado with a lot of success the first power play they had. Here's Dobson a drive. Liut saves, covers on the rebound. We'll have a face-off coming up.
Well, coming up between periods, Joe, Howie Meeker and defensive hockey, and we're going to have that all during our ESPN telecasts. Teachers like Larry Robinson, Guy Lafleur, Mike Bossy, Don Edwards on goaltending, the great Bobby Smith from Minnesota, this Chico Resch who we're seeing tonight, Dave Babbage, and many, many more featured on our between period Howie Meeker's Pro Tips.
Kevin McCarthy will be with Larry Robinson on tonight's Pro Tip, and that'll be coming up right at the end of the first period.
Talking about defensive hockey with 9-7, 9-6, 7-5 games. Should be interesting. Stay tuned for that.
Face-off St. Louis zone. Liut out to clear it away. LaPointe picks it up, fails to get it out of the zone. Here's Jim Dobson with it. Dobson moving in, back of the goal. Gets it back out front to Maxwell. Kevin Maxwell has it back out to Sorella. Sorella over to Micheletti. His shot hits traffic in front beside the goal. It's fired wide. Here's Sorella with a shot. That's deflected, goes back of the goal. Picked up back there by Cameron. Tried to center it. Knocked down, and Dunlop comes away with it for the Blues. Sorella there to hold it in again, and finally cleared out as Klassen got his stick on it. Dumped right back in again. They catch Cameron offside. With the score, St. Louis 1 and Colorado 1. Let's pause for a moment.
Shots on goal. Do we have a shot? Anybody got the shots on goal? Unofficial. What is it?
16 to 11.
16-11 shots on goal for St. Louis.
On the face-off, the puck goes into the Colorado zone. Lorimer back after it. He goes down, tangled up with Curry, and the Rockies come in, pick up the puck. Malinowski feeds Lever. Lever's pass knocked down by Curry and held in the Colorado zone. Rink-wide pass comes from Malinowski. Slides into the St. Louis end. McMillan following up, takes it away, scores! McMillan's second goal of the game as he went over Liut's left shoulder. It's 2-1 Colorado.
Well, actually, Merlin Malinowski making this play, hustling along the boards. You'll see Malinowski really forcing the puck loose. Here's Bobby McMillan just letting the shot go high on the glove side. Caught Liut. Liut was surprised on that one. Here you see the play. Malinowski actually forces the St. Louis Blue player to give the puck up a little earlier. Here's number 12, Bobby McMillan, his second goal of the game, and gives the Colorado Rockies a 2-1 lead. A minute and 35 seconds to go in this opening period.
Well, same combination that scored the first goal for Colorado. Bobby McMillan, his 10th of the year from Malinowski and Lever. 18:25 the time of the goal. We have an icing call. They'll bring it back down into the St. Louis end for the face-off with 1:26 remaining here in the first period.
As we look at Bob Ramich of the Colorado Rockies, their number 1 pick. He was the number 1 pick overall in 1979. Rather than come and play for Colorado, he went to Birmingham of the World Hockey Association. He will be celebrating his 23rd birthday in just a couple of days.
1:25 remaining in the period. Colorado with the puck in the St. Louis zone. It comes right out front to Broughton. His shot, and Liut got the blocking pad on that to make the save. Klassen comes away with it now for the Blues and heads towards the other end of the rink. Into the Colorado zone. Drops it off out front. Brownchild a shot. Resch deflects it off to the side of the goal. It goes back of the goal. Kitchen back there trying to clear it out. Brownchild can't hold it in. It's picked up out front by Ashton. Broughton tries to headman for Ashton. Intercepted by Klassen, and the Blues come right back again. Shot is deflected. Goes back in the near corner. Kitchen there to pick it up for Colorado. He's taken it to the boards by Klassen. Turnbull drops it back for Brownchild. His shot deflected, and it goes to the far side of the rink. 40 seconds remaining in the first period. The Rockies dump it down into the St. Louis zone. This will bring an icing call. They'll move it back into the Colorado end for the face-off with 36 seconds remaining.
This game has been going in flurries up and down. Chico Resch being able to hold the fort down in front of the Colorado Rockies zone as we look at Jack Brownchild skating over to the St. Louis Blue bench. Brownchild, a product out of Notre Dame University. One of the regular defenseman, does a good job back there along with Eddie Kia for the Blues. We should make mention that the leading scorer for the Blues is out with injury, Bernie Fedorko.
Lapointe partially banned as he tried to fire the shot from the left point, and the Rockies come away with it. Colorado clears out the center ice. They get it up to Dodson. He dumps it into the St. Louis end with 20 seconds remaining in the period. Liut clears it off to the near boards. Bill Baker there. Headmans for Babbage. Babbage couldn't quite catch up with the puck, and Sorella there. Now Cameron for Colorado. Sorella and Dodson into the St. Louis end again. Liut steers it beside the goal. Just 4 seconds remaining in the period. Around the boards, buzzer sounds, and that is the end of the first period with the Colorado Rockies holding a 1-goal lead. Quickly, here's the way the scoring went. Colorado got on the boards first at 2:31 of the period. McMillan, his 9th of the year from Malinowski and Lever. Then St. Louis got the equalizer when Jim Dodson was in the penalty box for interference. Dunlop with the power play goal, his 9th of the year from Babbage and Wilson. And Colorado back on top at 18:25. Full-strength goal. Again, Bobby McMillan, his 10th of the year. And again, Malinowski and Lever with the assists on that goal, 18:25, the time of that goal. Unofficially, our shots on goal, St. Louis with 18 in the period and Colorado with 13 in that first period of play. Our score at the end of the first period of play is the Colorado Rockies 2, the St. Louis Blues 1. And we'll be right back with how he
play a regular shift for you. They're going to be good for you on the power play, and they're going to kill penalties for you. So they've got a lot of new faces here in Colorado. They've got 12 new players that started the season here in Colorado that weren't with this club last year.
Okay, Pete Stemkowski and I'll be back with the start of the second period of tonight's game right after this. Joe Boyle and Pete Stemkowski back here at McNichols Arena in Denver, Colorado, where at the end of one period of play, the Colorado Rockies lead the St. Louis Blues by a 2-1 margin. Dunlop for St. Louis on a power play. McMillan with both goals for Colorado. Both were full-strength goals. Pete, you mentioned the fact that Marshall Johnson said that in the game against Edmonton that Wayne Gretzky was the one that beat his club almost individually, he felt, and certainly it wouldn't be the first time that Gretzky has beaten somebody, but I noticed that the owner of the Edmonton club has awarded Wayne, or will award him, with a brand new contract.
Well, it's a pretty nice one.
Juicy one, too.
You know, you talk about Dave Winfield in New York and in baseball, but hey, he deserves it. Certainly on his offensive statistics, he's been outstanding for the Edmonton Oilers. But what he has done for that complete organization, they're talking about somewhere in the neighborhood between $800,000 and $1 million a year for 10 years. Hey, pretty nice pocket money, I'd say. Consider, hey, listen, my first pro contract, $5,500 played in Rochester, and my first National Hockey League contract, which what, I don't know, 65, 15, 16 years ago, I made $9,000 my first year in the National Hockey League. He's going to make $1 million a year now. You know, I think things are getting a little ridiculous, but you know, that is really something that's happening in pro sports. As we look at Marshall Johnson, he's got the headphones on, and I'm sure he's talking to the ex-coach, Bert Marshall, who's up here with us. The club has gone pretty good since Marshall has gone behind the bench. They've turned things around somewhat. They are slowly creeping up and catching some ground on the Los Angeles Kings in that Smythe division. There you see the very quiet Red Berenson. Doesn't say much, but certainly gets his point across to his St. Louis Blue players.
Well, we're just about ready for the face-off for the second period as you look at Chico Resch, who had an outstanding first period of play, turning away 13 of the 14 shots St. Louis fired on him. The only one they got by him was on the power play.
How much did you make your first job ever as an announcer? We're talking about salaries.
I think it was $50 a week, something like that. Of course, that was back in '02, so...
Why wasn't I born 20 years later?
Here's the Blues back with Babbage into the Colorado zone along the near board. They battle for the puck. Cleared back out into the center ice area. Jack Brownscheitel back after it for St. Louis. Dumps it back with Dunlop. Return pass for Brownscheitel now. Brownscheitel check from behind. Feeds it over to Kia. Rockies double team it along the near boards. McMillan and Malinowski in there. Here's Malinowski. Moving back at the goal with it. Malinowski has a man out front at the point. Ramage gets it to him. He drives the shot. It's wide to the left, but Liut gloves it, doesn't want to take any chances, hangs on, and that'll stop the traffic around his net area.
Take a look at Don Lever just coming over from the Colorado Flames in that deal for Lanny McDonald. He was the #1 pick a number of years back for the Vancouver Canucks, and then went to the Atlanta Flames, and went with them when they made their move up to Calgary. He is certainly one of the better penalty killers in the National Hockey League today. He will be a big plus for these Colorado Rockies.
Face off to the left of Mike Liut, St. Louis netminder. Klassen on the draw with Maxwell, and St. Louis controls it. LaPointe back of his own goal now. Cranks it up the left wing, tried to feed it to the breaking Klassen, but couldn't get it to him, and the puck's back in the St. Louis end again. Now LaPointe crosses the center line, checked by Maxwell. Drops it off to Klassen, drop pass, intended for Turnbull. Dump back of the goal. Micheletti after it for Colorado, trying to get it up to Cameron. It slides back out to center ice, and the Blues will have to get back on side again. LaPointe fires back into the Colorado end. Resch steers it back of the goal. Joe Micheletti after it around the boards. Turnbull intercepts and fires it around to the near side. Held in by Mullen. Back of the goal. Turnbull there, trying to dump it out front. Loose puck lying off to the side. The Rockies clear it away. Cameron banks it off the boards. It'll come all the way back into the St. Louis end, and they wave off any call on it. Puck picked up and cleared on out to center ice by Wilson. Now Turnbull circling in his own zone. Into the Colorado end. Zook in pursuit. He'll get there first. Dumps it behind him. Nobody from the Blues there, and it's picked off by Tambellini, and he starts his teammate up ice. Gets it over to Ashton. The pass goes behind him. The Rockies have to get back on side again. Blues with it. They dump it in. Zook has it now. Zook rink wide for Jerry Hart. Hart, the former Islander. For Baker, who crosses the center line and fires it in. We've played 2 minutes 15 seconds here in the second period, and a lot of action between the blue lines. Not much going on in either team's zone. The Rockies breaking up ice, and that's broken up by Hart nicely. Puck driven in by Colorado. Liut stops it for Baker. Baker feeds a left wing pass to Sutter. Sutter starts back to the Colorado zone, runs into a check, and the puck is picked off by Nicholson. Can't clear it out as Curry's there to hold it in. McMillan picks that off and clears out to center ice. Lever slides it forward. McMillan picks it up, tries the shot, and he missed wide on the left, and boy, did he let go a rocket. He already has 2 goals. He was looking for the hat there. Puck goes back to the goal. Hart and McMillan after it. McMillan with Hart on top of the puck. We have a stoppage of play. The score, Colorado 2 and St. Louis 1.
Jimmy, it's blue, not black. I keep looking for the every time you say 21 black, I think we're the Blackhawks here or something. Oh, okay. We got a color one up here.
Face off in the St. Louis zone to the left of Mike Liut, the Blues goalie. It'll be Klassen and Malinowski on the draw.
This line of Malinowski and Lever and McMillan, the big line so far for the Rockies.
Battle for it. It comes back out front to Lorimer, and he hit the outside of the post. Somehow that puck found its all the way through the traffic and hit the outside of the post before Liut was able to pick it up. It was already by him. Puck along the near boards now. They battle for it there, hold it, and we'll have a face-off coming up again in the St. Louis end.
Eddie Kia, they played a great game on our ESPN telecast, I thought, the other night. Joe stands back there, a stand-up defenseman. He's not going to handle the puck a lot back there. As soon as he gets it, he's looking for somebody to get it to. Very rarely will go into the other team's zone. Clears in front of the net. An excellent, steady defenseman. The Blues picking him up from the Atlanta Flames.
Again, Klassen and Malinowski on the draw. The Blues 1 point behind Minnesota, and just 1 point ahead of Chicago in a very tight race in the Norris Division, so this is a big game for them. They're really bunched up in that division. Puck back of the goal. Liut stops it. Brownscheitel for Kia. He's taken into the boards by Lever. Klassen comes in along with Malinowski. They tie it up again there, and we'll have a face-off.
Merlin
Colorado
Malinowski
right now picking up their forechecking in the St. Louis zone.
This is a very, well, you got two good veterans in Lieber and McMillan. Merlin Malinowski was a great youngster, has been struggling this year. He came on a little bit there in about the second month of the season, then tailed off again, wasn't even dressing for the Rockies. But trying to get him on track, they put him back with, or put Bobby McMillan. I'm starting to feel like Bobby McMillan and Don Lieber on his wings. And Malinowski certainly is, well, he's buzzing, he's forechecking, he's skating, and that's what they're looking for him. They need a good effort from youngsters like Malinowski if they're going to make the playoffs.
Rick Wilson gives to Babbage. Babbage into the Colorado zone, right out front, tried to get off the shot. It's deflected and goes up into the crowd, so we'll have a face-off coming up. Don't forget our next NHL telecast is coming your way, and it'll be again in the Norris Division. And that tight race that we talked about a moment ago, this time the Chicago Blackhawks and the Minnesota North Stars from Bloomington, Minnesota.
If you'd like to make note of it, on January 17th, it's a Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we'll be in Bloomington, Minnesota, the Chicago Blackhawks with the youngster Dennis Savard, Al Secord and company. Will play the Minnesota North Stars in interdivisional play. That coming up on the 17th, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN.
Wilson drives the puck around the boards. Babbage far corner out front. Patterson all alone, and his shot is deflected. They get the puck over to Winsink, seeing his first shift tonight for the Rockies along the near boards. Winsink muscles his way by Wilson, but the puck picked up by the Blues, and LaPointe starts back, gets it to Babbage. Winsink collides with Babbage and clears the puck back out to center ice. LaPointe drives it back in again.
There they go.
Now we've got Winsink and Babbage out here in front. Well, Winsink and Babbage holding on to each other. Winsink got the right arm loose and managed to get a right into the side of Babbage's head. Now Babbage gets a left in. Now Winsink back with a right and a left. Winsink with a right, and Babbage caught him with a very good overhand left. They go to the ice, they tie it up there, and that'll about take care of that.
Well, they collided at the blue line. Winsink on his first shift for the Colorado Rockies. He's the guy that stirs things up. That's why they got him from Quebec of the other division. We're at, well, they sort things out. 15:56 left in the second period. We'll be right back. Okay, well, we'll see how this thing starts. What do you got? They haven't. And we'll see how this develops. Here you see Winsink and Babbage colliding right there. Winsink getting that elbow up. Now you see Babbage turn around. Now he'll drop the gloves. It'll come. Well, actually, are we going to see this? We didn't quite see the. It was out of the picture there, but Babbage and Winsink both dropping their gloves and going at it pretty good. As Babbage has 2 and 5, I believe, and Winsink has 5. So the Colorado Rockies will have the power play opportunities. We see John Winsink, who played a number of years for the Boston Bruins, then went over to the Quebec Nordiques, and has finally landed here in Colorado. We had talked to some of the local writers and radio men in the area, and they'd said that that is one of the things that is lacking with the Colorado Rockies, that they get pushed around a lot. And when you get fellows like John Winsink out there, he's certainly not going to let that happen too often.
Babbage got 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. I guess it was for pulling Winsink's hair. And he got 5 for fighting, and Winsink got 5 for fighting. So the Blues, or the Rockies rather, will have a one-man advantage. I think more importantly, Pete, Winsink took a pretty integral part of the Colorado, or the St. Louis hockey team into the penalty box with him when he took Babbage, especially with Fedorko out.
Well, they did not have enough men on there, and finally Catola jumps over the boards to give the Colorado Rockies the man advantage here early in this second period.
So a 5-on-4 situation, Colorado with the power play. Their 4th power play of the game. They have failed to convert on any of their first 3. St. Louis has done an excellent job of penalty killing, although on the first 2 Colorado Rocky power plays, they looked very efficient. Last time out, they did not operate well on the power play. Back of the goal, Tambellini for Catola. Kia cuts it in front of him. Broughton trying to hold it in. Cannot. It's cleared out to center ice, and Ramage has it. With Zook after him. This is Ashton. Brombean after Ashton. Crombeen and Zook are the two men in deep for St. Louis, and Zook comes away with the puck. Uses Kia for a screen, still has the puck, still has it. Now Crombeen picks it up, cranks it up and drives the shot. It's deflected, goes up into the crowd, and we'll have a face-off coming up. And that gives us a chance to remind you about the Senior Bowl coming your way here on ESPN. For the first time ever, the Senior Bowl will be seen exclusively on cable as ESPN brings you the showcase of college seniors Saturday, January 16th at 1 p.m. Eastern and 10 a.m. Pacific time. Join us as the pros of tomorrow show their wares on the Senior Bowl Saturday, January 16th at 1 p.m. Eastern time on your Total Sports Network ESPN. Puck still in the Colorado zone. A drive by Klassen comes bouncing right out in front, and Resch got back just in time. May have gotten a piece of that. Klassen had the chance. Either fired it just over the top of the goal, or else Resch got just a piece of it to steer it over the top of the goal.
Puck was rolling on him, Joe, and Klassen coming in late took a whack at it. Fired it over top of the net, a bouncing puck. 50 seconds to go on the penalty to St. Louis's Babbage.
And Colorado has not had a shot on goal on this power play. St. Louis has had two already on it in a shorthanded situation. They're an excellent penalty-killing team. They had some problems with their penalty-killing unit and their power play earlier in the season, but both have come around very well of late. Rockies with it, just 30 seconds left in their manpower advantage. This is Micheletti. Micheletti feeds it up the side. Got it over to Sorella. He lost it. Zook there clears it out to center ice, and Micheletti has to go back and cover up on it. The crowd getting on the Rockies a little bit. They looked very good on their first two power plays, but the last two times out have not been able to do a thing with it. 13 seconds left. The offside call will bring the face-off just outside the Colorado blue line.
Power play has been letting the Colorado Rockies down this year. They are last in the NHL. I'm sure with the addition of Don Lever and Bobby McMillan, you got me started, is going to improve as we look at Joe.
Get Billy out of retirement.
Joe Micheletti, who was recently acquired from the St. Louis Blues, skating to the bench for the Colorado Rockies. 13 seconds, the Blues killing this penalty off. At 14 minutes to go in this second period, McMillan, both goals for Colorado. Blake Dunlop, the only scorer for the Blues.
Here's Nicholson driving into the St. Louis zone. Picked off by LaPointe for the Blues. And the Blues now back at full strength. So the two teams at equal strength. And Winsick and Babbage will be off for another 3 minutes. Lorimer comes away with the puck for Colorado. Gets a long lead pass. Trying to catch up with it for the Rockies was Jim Dobson. Couldn't quite do it. And the Blues come away with it. Now Zook back into the Colorado zone. Trying to feed Curry. Drives it to the far corner. Comes back out to LaPointe. LaPointe in the corner, centering pass, bounding puck, and it's wrapped out to the blue line, but not out of the zone by Nicholson. Now Nicholson feeds a right wing pass to Dobson. Dobson cannot catch up with it as Wilson comes away with it for the Blues. Rick Wilson got by one check. His pass almost picked off by Tambellini. Now knocked away again by Nicholson. Picked off by Lorimer. Lorimer drives it back into the St. Louis zone. Boy, would Ashton have been off to the races or Tambellini rather been off to the races if he could have gotten his stick on that puck. Cleared back down to the Colorado blue line. Lorimer trying to hit his man Tambellini at center ice. Here's Mullen a drive, and Resch got the stick on that, steered it back at the goal. Lorimer with it. Right wing pass for Broughton. Broughton puts it on Kitchen's stick. Kitchen to Tambellini. Tambellini into the zone, lost it off his stick back out to center ice. Mullen. Mullen breaking around the defenseman, drives the shot. Resch way out, makes the save. Chico Resch came way out to meet Joe Mullen. The young man who got 2 goals within 8 seconds of each other against Minnesota. Native New Yorker.
A lot of roller hockey, actually clearing his hockey on roller skates.
Klassen with it now for St. Louis. We have 12-12 remaining here in the second period. Colorado continuing to hold on to that 2-1 lead. Puck along the near boards, Malinowski. What a bounce out front, Lever over the top of the goal. So both teams have had opportunities, and both players have fired the puck over the top of the goal. McMillan takes it away from Klassen. Now we've got a penalty coming up as Lever is dumped. So while we have the opportunity, we'll pause for a moment with the score Colorado 2 and St. Louis 1.
Joe Mullen. Der Hawking. And the Rockies, do the Rockies have one power play goal today?
No, they have not scored.
Joe
4
Mullen
times out.
Minutes for hooking. Time of the penalty, 8:12. Mullen for hooking. at 8-12.
On the left of your screen, you see Joe Mullen getting a 2-minute penalty for hooking, and Wayne Babbage still in there serving his 5-minute major. A power play situation for the Colorado Rockies, leading the St. Louis Blues 2-1. Just over 11 minutes to go in this second period.
Fifth power play for Colorado. Here's Micheletti with it. His shot hits traffic out front. Colorado, through the first 8 minutes of this second period, has not had a shot on goal. St. Louis has had just 3. So we have not really had much in the way of offense outside of those 2 big chances here in the second period, and both players missed the net completely from right out in front. McMillan dumps it back of the goal. Tried to get it around to Malinowski. McMillan out front. Here's Ramage, a drive. Rebound. McMillan couldn't get the stick on it. Lever has it on the far side. Lever sets up camp along the far board. Dumps it off to McMillan. McMillan back to Lever. Lever out to Ramage at the right point. Return pass. Lever cranks it up. Drives the shot. Rebound out in front. Malinowski. And Liut with 2 saves. Puck up into the crowd. We'll have a face-off coming up with 1:11 remaining in the penalty time to Mullen.
Well, look at this again. Ramage will end up taking the shot. Here's Lever. He gets the shot away. Ramage gives it to Lever. Lever lets it go. Liut makes the save. Merlin Malinowski. There you see that guy again. Eddie Akia in front of the net, able to tie up Merlin Malinowski. And he's unable to get his stick on it. Here you see Akia. Akia will go to Malinowski. The puck will drop right at Malinowski's feet there for a minute. He's unable to get a hold of it. There's Eddie tying them all up. And 1 minute, 10 seconds to go on the penalty to Joe Mullen.
Sorella with the puck for the Rockies, dumps it deep behind the goal. Tolle in after it. LaPointe got there first, cleared it around the boards. Maxwell can't hold it in. Knocked down by Nell. Here's Nell back as St. Louis breaks in 2-on-1, shorthanded. And the pass intended for Dunlop was deflected out front. Good job for St. Louis that time by the rookie Sorella. Now Catola back for Colorado. Shifts to his forehand. Almost lost the puck. Drops it back out to the left point. Sorella a drive. He's way wide with it. And we get the whistle as Cameron got his stick up over his shoulder and got it on the puck. So that brings a stoppage of play, and the face-off will come at the other end of the rink.
They'll take it all the way back as we look at center left wing Dave Cameron of the Colorado Rockies. He came over in the Bob Lorimer deal from the Islanders. So far on the season, he's played pretty effectively. Never really got a chance to play regularly with the Islanders in those championship teams. So far, after 37 games, he's got 5 goals and 5 assists.
Face-off will be to the right of netminder Chico Resch of the Rockies. Resch right in the crease area, loose puck. He's down. Klassen can't catch up with it as Catola slid across and wrapped the puck into the far corner. Catola loses it, but it's picked up and he gets the return pass. Catola feeds it on the right side to Dodson. They slide it rink wide. Here's Cameron. Back out to Sorella. Sorella drives a shot. That's steered away by the netminder Liut with his stick. Out to Sorella again. Drops it back on the near side. Cameron, whistle. We've got another penalty coming up. 12 seconds remaining in the penalty time to Mullen for St. Louis. And somebody else going to go right here.
Looks like a pair of, I think, double minor penalties. Maybe Eddie Kia, possibly, or Avila Pekka Catola
is going.
Of the Colorado Rockies. It looks like Catola will go for a high sticking. Obviously got his stick up a little high, and Eddie Kia in front of the St. Louis Blue net. Still 12 seconds to go in the penalty to Joe Mullen. So this thing will be turned around, and the St. Louis Blues in 12 seconds will have the power play. We'll look at this penalty. Oh, here's Chico Resch getting caught out of the net. He's unable to get in there. And then the defenseman for the Colorado Rockies, Catola, able to come in there and clear. We'll look at it again. As here you see Resch actually being pulled out of the net by the blue player. Number 28 for the Blues, Ralph Klassen, trying to get his stick on it, but Catola coming in to clear the puck to the corner.
Well, 8 seconds remaining in Mullen's penalty time, and then the St. Louis Blues will have a power play of their own. They're 1 for 3 in power plays in this game. Their only goal has come on the power play conversion. Here's the Blues back. Jorgen Pettersson is hauled down, puck cranked around the boards. Blues at full strength right now, so they are on the power play. Along the near boards, Ashton couldn't quite catch up with the puck, and they poke it back into the St. Louis zone. Jack Brownscheitel there with Tambolini out front. Brownscheitel waits for everybody to get set up and then moves out in front of the goal. Takes the screen, headmans for Dunlop. Feeds it up to Pettersson. Pettersson trying to get around Ramage. Feeds it over on the near side. For Wilson, drives the shot. That was deflected out front very nicely by Dunlop, but it went just wide. They come to the near corner. This is Mullen in after it. Took a pretty good shot back there from Kitchen. They battle for the puck. Mullen comes away with it. Checked out front by Ashton. Now Dunlop along the near boards. Dunlop waits for everybody to get set up. They have a man out front, Mullen. Knocked down by Ramage. Dunlop trying to put it out front. It's picked off and cleared down the ice for Colorado by Tambellini. Liut drops it back for Brownscheitel. 40 seconds remaining in the penalty to Catola. And Dunlop has the puck knocked off his stick back out to center ice. Sutter after it for the Blues. Lorimer went down across the rink. Feed comes to Curry now. Curry drives it back into the Colorado end. Lorimer goes in after it and drives it all the way back down into the St. Louis end. Good defensive effort by Bob Lorimer. The Blues will have to go back and pick it up with 20 seconds remaining in their manpower advantage. Baker starts Curry up the right wing. Crosses the center line and drives it in. Again, Lorimer back after it. This time tries to come to the near boards to get it to Lever. He does, and Lever clears it out to center ice with 5 seconds remaining in Catola's penalty time. Good job thus far by the Rockies of killing penalty time. Catola is back on. Both teams are at full strength. Here come the Blues. And Resch comes out to cut down the angle on Curry, and the puck slides to the near corner. Catola tried to get it by Baker. Baker holds it in for the Blues. Hit McMillan with his pass. Still in the Colorado zone, and Lever starts out with Catola. 2-on-2. Lever has Catola trailing. They have a man breaking in from the far side. Lorimer couldn't get the puck to him. Lever still has it along the near boards. He's double teamed. Trying to muscle his way along the boards. That's Catola now. Nicholson drives it to the far corner. Dobson measured Baker for a check, didn't throw it. And now the former Olympic star clears the puck out to center ice. Nicholson trying to dump it back in, and Sorella is down across the way. He went down. Joe Sorella got all tangled up across the way with one of the Blues players. I don't know whether he got a stick on the pass or just what occurred, but he's down on the ice right now.
I think the follow through on the pass, Joe, just caught Joe Sorella underneath the helmet. He's moving. He looks like he'll be okay. As you see the Colorado Rocky trainer out there to lend his assistance. He, you know, those sticks, it's a thrill. You get that stick up, you shoot that puck, and sometimes the follow through. And Sorella Cat, it looks like he'll be okay. The Rockies 2, the Blues 1. We'll be back with more right after this. Kick. All right, we'll take exactly what happens to the young 18-year-old Joe Sorella here, right along the boards. He's with Captain Brian Sutter. Here he goes down, and it's either the stick or the skate. And Brian Sutter comes up and catches Joe Sorella. We'll look at it from another angle. Here you see Sutter coming down with the stick, but I think it could have been possibly a skate.
Yeah.
That just caught the youngster, and I thought he got in the head. It looks like he's favoring his right knee right now. Played well. He's one of the fellows that I discussed with Marshall Johnson, the coach of the Rockies. We had a chance to sit down and have a cup of coffee before the game. I just asked him, I mean, here's a kid, 18 years old, played with Oshawa last year. Here, they were their first pick. He says he's been steady. He hasn't been their best. He hasn't been their worst. He's learning. He's coming along, and he's one of the many 18 and 19-year-olds that are in the National Hockey League today. As you see the youngster being helped from the ice. 7:21 in this opening period. If you just joined us, there was all the scoring's been done in that first period. Bobby McMillan started it off at 2:31 from Malinowski and Lever. And then Dunlop, a power play goal for the Blues. That at 7:37 from Babbage and Rick Wilson. And then Bobby McMillan, his second goal of the game, his 10th of the season from Malinowski and Lever. That coming at 18:25 of the opening period.
7:21 remaining here in the second period. 2-1, Colorado leading it. Face off in the center ice area. Turnbull got his stick on the puck, but it's controlled by Colorado. Nicoletti with it. Feeds it over to Ramage. Got it up to Dobson, and he dumps it back into the St. Louis zone, where Jerry Hart picks it off for the Blues, sends it around the boards for Joe Mullen. Mullen tied up along the near boards by Micheletti. Joe Micheletti has played a strong game for Colorado against his ex-teammate. Puck goes to the far corner. Jerry Hart with it. Turned back, and the puck comes now to Jack Brownscheidel. Colorado with Cameron and Maxwell along with Dobson in deep checking. They have three men checking in the St. Louis zone right now as the puck slides back into the Colorado end. Ramage back to cover up. Now Hart near his own blue line. Slides it across the rink to Brownscheidel. Got it up front to Turnbull. Moving in, a shot and a save by Resch.
Joe, the St. Louis
right in
Blues,
on the doorstep.
the St. Louis Blues had a 3-on-1 on Chico Resch, and Chico comes up with the big save.
Well, we get the icing call. They'll bring it back down into the St. Louis end for the pickoff or the face-off.
Let's take a look at this again. This is a 3-on-1. Believe it or not, there's only one defender back there for the Colorado Rockies. Takes the shot. Resch over on the short side, makes the save, and the Rockies able to clear it. Close call for the Colorado Rockies.
6:21 remaining in the period. Still 2-1 Colorado. Joe Boyle beats Demkoski here in McNichols Arena. There's a drive by Wilson. From the right point goes wide. Babbage there to hold it in, and it goes up over the glass into the crowd. We have a stoppage of play with the score Colorado 2 and St. Louis 1. On the face-off, the puck controlled by the Rockies. They slide it back out to center ice. Lapointe with it now. Rick Lapointe across the center line. Pass for Pettersson, a drive, and a big save by Chico Resch. A bullet by Jorgen Pettersson, and Chico got that right blocking pad out, made the save. Puck still in the Colorado zone, deeper in the Colorado zone. And Resch himself clears it around the board. Broughton tips it out to center ice. Quickly after it, Tambolini. They break in 2-on-2. He has Ashton trailing. Shot fired off the backhand, goes wide to the left. And the Blues come away with it. They dump it out to center ice where Jorgen Pettersson has it. He heads for the Colorado zone, cranks up that shot. Resch makes the save. Couldn't locate it as it trickled right down his chest. 5 minutes remaining here in the second period. McMillan, rink-wide pass for Micheletti. Micheletti into the St. Louis zone again. Jerry Hart after it. McMillan in pursuit. Hart comes away with it. McMillan goes in after him, and he dumps the puck up to Bill Baker. Now Curry out to center ice. Baker trailing on the play. Curry checked out front by Malinowski into the board. Malinowski and Curry get all tied up. They joust at each other with their sticks. Sutter with it. His pass deflected in the center ice area. Now McMillan picks it up. Gets it to Malinowski. Malinowski for McMillan. The pass just went behind him. McMillan still after it. Strong game by Bobby McMillan. Dump it out front to Lever on the backhand. Lost possession of the puck. Sutter there to pick it up for St. Louis. Well, you're right, Pete. This line is really standing out tonight. Malinowski, Lever, and McMillan. They have been outstanding for Colorado. Hustling every minute they're out there. Colorado changes line, and Sutter still on the ice for St. Louis. Heads up ice. Drops it off to Zook. Zook centering pass. Nobody there, and Resch clears it off to the side. Mullen tries to dump it into Sutter. Cannot. It's stolen away by Cameron, and Cameron starts Maxwell back. Maxwell dumps the puck in. We're going to have another penalty coming up on St. Louis. So the St. Louis Blues will play shorthanded. We'll take the opportunity to pause with our score, Colorado 2 and St. Louis 1.
Mike Zook. Just so be Colorado has had how many power plays tonight? You have to convert.
Let's see. 1.
16:08. 16:08. Zook for hooking. I'll tell you, okay.
4. 5. 6.
How many power plays?
This will be their 7th. This will be their 7th.
7 power play
Coming up.
Well, we'll look at Mike Zook getting the hooking penalty for the St. Louis Blues right there, pulling the legs out from underneath the Colorado player. The Rockies, their 7th power play. They're yet They've been unable to convert so far.
Puck in the St. Louis zone. Ramage there to hold it in. Cameron far corner, and it's picked off and cleared down the ice by Klassen for St. Louis. Resch out of the goal for Maxwell. Maxwell with Crombeen in on his tail. Leaves it off for Ramage. Crombeen out front. Passes up to Catola. Back to Catola. Headman's up the near side for Dobson, who drives it into the St. Louis end. Brownscheitel cuts across, picks it up for the Blues. Knocked down by Cameron. Puck goes to the far corner. Cameron with the return pass. Kia failed to clear it, but it comes out to the Blues, and they dump it down the ice.
Well, the Rockies would like to get Malinowski, McMillan, and Lieber out there, but they were on the ice when that penalty was taken by Zook, so they're tired. But McMillan's on the ice now.
McMillan moving in, shoots, scores! Hat trick for Bobby McMillan.
And a hat trick for Bobby McMillan. We just made mention that he'd like to have him out there. And the first opportunity that Marshall Johnson got, he put his big line out there. Bobby McMillan has the hat trick. His third goal, his 11th of the season. McMillan coming from the bench, gets in between the St. Louis Blue defensemen. A power play goal. Here's the most exciting play in hockey. One-on-one. Bobby McMillan and Mike Liut. McMillan goes high over the shoulder. We'll look at it again from another angle. Here's McMillan taking a look. Beats Liut over the top corner, left-hand corner. The hat trick, the hats are pouring on the ice. A power play goal. The hat trick for that man right there, number 12. Bobby McMillan of the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies lead with 3:04 to go in this second period by a score of 3-1. 87.5 swing down there. The fans here are acknowledging Bobby McMillan as he picks up the hat trick, scoring all three of the Colorado Rockies goals.
16:54, the time of the goal. We believe that Ramage will get one of the assists. We will wait for the official score. 16:56, the time of the goal, a power play goal, the first of the game for the Rockies in that department. Ramage will get one assist. We'll wait for the other if there is one. Here come the Blues right back again. Offside. Face-off outside of the Colorado blue line. 3 minutes remaining in the period.
Well, McMillan had just come off from a shift, and they were tired at the big line, Malinowski, McMillan, and Lieber, but McMillan was able to come on the ice, sneak in behind the blue defenseman, and pick up a power play goal. 3-1 for the Rockies. We're down to 2.5 minutes in this second period.
Ramage and Chico Resch get the assist. Here come the Rockies back again. Puck goes back at the goal. Rockies after it. It comes out to Lorimer at the point. He's trying to hold it in. Cannot as the Blues clear it out to center ice. He carried it quite a ways at Lapointe. Now moves in. He's got a man Mullen with him. Loose puck and it leaps and it went right through. On to the other side. Now Lorimer comes away for the Rockies. Fires it rink wide, trying to get it to Ashton. Wilson intercepts for St. Louis. Drives it back into the Colorado zone. It's picked up there by Lorimer with 2:18 remaining in the second period. Still in the Colorado end. Now cleared out by Tambellini. Picked up and put right back in again by Rick Wilson. Mullen has his pass deflected. Wilson drives it back in again. Turnbull comes away with it. Terry Turnbull in front. Turnbull dumps it back over to Wilson. Cranks it up, drives a shot, and he's high with it. It goes over the top of the goal. Lapointe trying to put it on the left side of the goal. And Lorimer, long pass at center ice. Lieber out alone. Lieber moving in. Shoots. A score!
Well, it's been the old Calgary Wayne night. Another player just acquired from the Colorado Rockies. Don Lieber on a breakaway against Mike Liut has the fans here in the Nichols Arena on their feet. Here you see Lieber one-on-one on Liut. Lets the shot go, and the puck is able to trick between the legs of Mike Liut. And number 9 for the Colorado Rockies, Don Lieber picks up his 16th goal of the season. 1 minute and 50 seconds to go in this period. Second period, the Rockies 4 and the Blues 1.
Well, back-to-back goals by McMillan and Lieber within less than 2 minutes of each other. And the Rockies, who had been tenaciously protecting a 1-goal lead, are breathing a little easier now with a 3-goal margin at 4-1. And they're right back in again. Ramage drives his shot. He misses wide to the left. Karam's all the way back out into the center ice area where Mike Kitchen catches up with it for the Rockies. Off the boards to the St. Louis blue line, Jerry Hart with it. Hart gets it up to Babbage, who dumps it back into the Colorado zone. Ramage just clears it out to center ice. Lever may have tipped it. It'll go back into the St. Louis end, and if Hart gets there, it'll bring an icing call with 1:10 remaining in the period. We'll move back into the Colorado end for the faceoff, and that gives us an opportunity to remind you of North American Soccer League indoor soccer action coming your way here on ESPN. Sunday, January 10th at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Time. Tampa Bay and Toronto will tangle all live right here on your Total Sports Network. Face-off in the Colorado end as we have 1:10 remaining here in this second period of play.
Well, you'd never know that hockey was dead in Colorado as they're talking with the listening to the crowd here. They are excited. And who wants to, you know, when that trade was made, Lanny McDonald for Lever and
Everybody
McMillan
thought it was a bad trade.
raised a few eyebrows, but they're certainly playing with a lot of enthusiasm here tonight.
Here's a drive off the face-off by Babbage. Goes wide to the left. Baker there to hold it in. Far corner, Ramage after it along with Dunlop. They tie up. And we will have yet another face-off coming up with 1 minute, 1 second remaining here in the second period. 4-1. Colorado Rockies lead it. McMillan gave them the lead in the first period at 18:25 of the period. He boosted it to 2 goals at 16:54 of this period. And Lever has made the cushion a little easier to live with at 18:10. It's 4-1, 3-goal lead for Colorado. But there is a third period left to go. And we will... Somebody in the face-off circle early. Dodson, it comes right out front to Pedersen, and he fires just wide to left. Rebound, and Babbage fired it wide to the right this time. St. Louis has had some opportunities, but they have been off target with their shots. It comes back down into the blue zone. Baker touches it. Icing call will bring it back into the Colorado end for the face-off again.
And we take a look at number 25 for the St. Louis Blues, Jürgen Pedersen. Signed as a free agent for the St. Louis Blues. We'll look at this save again right from the faceoff. Here comes Babbage, late, coming in late, unable to get that puck up on the top corner. The Rockies clear the puck down the ice, and there you see a very busy man in the nets tonight for the Rockies. Chico Resch. We're down to 49 seconds to go in this second period.
Colorado has outscored St. Louis 2-0 here in the second period. St. Louis has outshot the Rockies 8-6 thus far in the period. So the Rockies have made their shots count. Puck held in by Sutter. Dumps it back of the goal, and it took a funny bounce, and Resch was back of the goal all alone out in front with nobody anywhere near him was Sutter, but the puck was going in the opposite direction, and he couldn't catch up with it. Now Curry back for the Blues. Dumps it in again with 25 seconds remaining in the period. Sutter back of the goal. Resch again way out of the net. Curry comes up with it. Broughton in to cut him off. Clears it around to the near corner. Kia in deep trying to hold it in. Blues trying to put on pressure with 10 seconds remaining, and now the Rockies break out 3-on-2 with it. Ashton got by one man, walks right in. Ashton tried to dump it off behind him to Tambolini, and back to break it up for the Blues was Jack Braunscheitel. Fine defensive play by Jack Braunscheitel prevents Colorado with coming up from yet another goal. But 2 goals are what they did come up with as we are now at the end of 2 periods. Bobby McMillan, his 3rd goal of the game at 16:54 of the period. A power play goal from Ramage and netminder Chico Resch. Chico getting one of those rare goaltender assists. And then also for the Colorado Rockies, it was Don Lever, his 16th goal of the year at 18:10 of the period, as Lorimer got the only assist on that goal. And the hat trick for Bobby McMillan.
There's the
And
result.
I don't know what he's going to do with all of them, but there they are, the hats for Bobby McMillan's hat trick. So at the end of the second period of play, the Colorado Rockies have the lead 4-1 over the St. Louis Blues.
Joe, playing a lot of your earlier hockey in New York City, you ever run across the most popular guy there, especially right now, Nicky Fotiu?
Yeah, when my first year in junior league in New York, it was Nicky's last year, and I ran into him a few times then. And Nicky played with against my brothers before me, and that's how I really got to know Nicky.
I guess when you go back to New York, I know you played 1 game on the island, and you'll be going back to play a game in Madison Square Gardens. You're going to need a few tickets for some people that really care for you up there.
Oh yeah, there's going to be a load of people that I'm sure will show up to the game and be rooting for me.
Time when the Minnesota North Stars and Chicago Blackhawks tangle. And of course, if hockey is your game, don't forget this week in the NHL, every Thursday with Tom Mees right here on ESPN. Tom will bring you up to date on all of the latest trade rumors. He'll bring you up to date on all of the injuries and all of the other goings-on of the National Hockey League on This Week in the NHL every Thursday here on your Total Sports Network, ESPN.
Well, the St. Louis Blues, who here we'll take a look at the the star of the show offensively, at least for the Colorado Rockies, the hat trick for Bobby McMillan. The Minnesota North Stars watching this game very closely. The St. Louis Blues, with a victory tonight, could move into first place in the Norris Division. The Blues off to a very bad start early in this 81-82 season, but they caught fire. But certainly things have not gone well for them tonight as we look at the St. Louis Blues bench and coach Red Berenson. And we'll see if the Colorado Rockies can put together 60 minutes. This has been a problem for them, is inconsistently. They haven't been able to play consistent 60 minutes of good hockey. We'll see if they can do it tonight. They've got a runaway 4-1 lead with 20 minutes to go.
And don't forget, the Blues are an explosive team. They can score in a hurry. As a matter of fact, we saw them score 2 goals in less than 8 seconds by one man, young Joe Mullen from New York City. One of the newest Blues pumped in 2 goals against Minnesota in less than 8 seconds. Here's McMillan racing for the goal again as Malinowski tried to set him up. This time the pass just a little bit too far as we're underway in the 3rd period, and Jorgen Pettersson heads back to the Colorado zone. Pettersson double teamed, loses the puck. Ramage there to cover up. Kia holds it in at the point for the Blues. Dunlop puts it out front, moving in. Centering pass deflected, goes back of the goal, and it's picked off there by the Colorado Rockies. This is Mike Kitchen off the boards at center ice. Pass leads Dobson too far, intercepted by the Blues. Dunlop's pass is picked off, deflected, and Brownscheitel has it now for the Blues. Kia on the far side of the rink drives it back into the Colorado end. Resch got his stick on it. Sutter tried to cut it and pick it up. Here's Dobson, checked from behind by Zook. Zook trying to put it out front. It's deflected by LaPointe, picked up by Kitchen, and he cranks it all the way down into the St. Louis end. This is going to bring an icing call as soon as LaPointe catches up with it. So we'll move it back into the Colorado end for the face-off with 18:56 remaining in this one.
Joe, one thing, what do the teams do? With the Blues down by 3, the Rockies up by 4. I'm sure that Marshall Johnson inside the dressing room was told his players, let's not get caught out of position. Let's not get any 2-on-1s or 3-on-2 breaks against us. Let's not play any differently than we did in that 2nd period. But let's not give the St. Louis Blues any fire. The Blues are going to probably have to start taking some chances, get themselves on the board early in this 3rd period.
Here's Sutter with the puck, gets it out to the right point. Wilson there dumps it further to the corner for Zook, a little too far. Curry back to Zook. Zook backhand shot, and Resch with the stick save. LaPointe beside the goal. Sutter tried to steer it in between his legs. Good solid check by Cameron out front as he ducked Sutter, and the Rockies clear it back down into the St. Louis zone again. If it goes the length of the ice, we'll have another icing call. So while we have the opportunity to pause, we'll remind you our score is Colorado 4 and St. Louis 1.
McMillan all right. He went to the bench there. He got hit in the face. He's holding a towel by his...
On the face-off, the puck to the St. Louis zone. A shot by Kitchen. Rebound. Tambellini scores! Kitchen took the shot. Tambellini there. Liut made the save. Tambellini picks up the rebound, drives it home. It's 5-1 Colorado.
Steve Tambellini, the leading scorer for the Colorado Rockies, gets his 17th goal of the season. You'll see the puck going back to the point. Kitchen will let it go. Liut will make the save, but he loses it. Here's Kitchen coming in, lets the shot go. Liut makes the save. Now he's looking around for it. He can't find it. And there's Steve Tambellini right on the doorstep to tuck it in. We'll look at it as Steve Tambellini picks up his 35th scoring point of the season. And early in this 3rd period, another score by the Rockies. They lead the St. Louis Blues by a score of 5-1.
17th goal of the year for Tambellini. One of the assists will go to Kitchen. We'll see if there's a third. Time of the goal, 1:52 in the 3rd period, and as Pete says, it's 5-1. And here's the Rockies right back again. Liut has to make the save off the drive by Tambellini. Ashton trying to put it out to the point, and Micheletti could not get there in time. Now here's Perry Turnbull up the right wing for St. Louis. Turnbull waiting for Wilson, and he can't get the shot off. We have a delayed penalty call coming up against Colorado. Turnbull with it, checked out front by Ashton. They pulled the goaltender. 6 attackers on for the Blues. Colorado touches it. We have a stoppage of play with the score Colorado 5 and St. Louis 1.
If you can get that, I like to see Bobby McMillan. He did a hell of a job of back checking on that. All right, who got the second assist there?
Ashton.
Ashton. Brent Ashton throws it back. Kitchen lets it go right here. Well, look at that 5th goal.
McMillan for interference at 2:35.
Here we'll take a look at the Colorado Rocky 5th goal of the night. Kitchen lets it go low from the point. Here's Liut, makes the save. He loses it for just a second, doesn't know where it is. There's Tambellini right there, puts it in. And the Rockies a 5-1 lead. Bobby McMillan is in the penalty box, 2 minutes for interference.
Puck in the Colorado zone. Rockies come away with it. Micheletti off the boards. It hit the linesman. Now it's picked up by the Rockies. Here's Lever moving in, takes the shot, and Liut got the shoulder up to steer it over the top of the goal. Puck in the St. Louis zone. The Blues break out with Jorgen Pettersson moving up the left wing. Colorado blue line. Cameron after him, pass knocked down and cleared out to center ice by Don Lever, who has been very, very strong in the Colorado penalty killing unit. Brownscheitel with it for the Blues. Dumps it off for Pettersson. Pettersson moving in. Got around one man. Drops it beside the goal. Return pass intended for Pettersson. Picked off again by Don Lever. Lever with it. Off the boards down into the St. Louis end. 1:10 remaining in the penalty time to Bobby McMillan. Blues with the puck. They head back up ice as Wilson feeds Brownscheitel. Crosses the center line. It's tipped by Babbage. Drives it back of the goal. Loose puck steered away. Picked up. Knocked down out in front by Wilson. Trying to hold it in. A couple of players go down. Now here's Lorimer. Lorimer has Malinowski with him. Lorimer back of the goal with it. Babbage after him. Lorimer trying to tie it up, get a face-off in the St. Louis zone if he could. The Blues finally come away with the puck as Zook has it. 40 seconds remaining in the penalty time to McMillan. Babbage is decked out front by Kitchen.
That's 2 hard checks and 1 shift that Wayne Babbage has taken from the Blues.
Puck cleared back down into the Colorado end. Resch there. Picked up by the Rockies, and they fire it out to center ice. Picked up there by Malinowski. Now Zook with it for St. Louis. 15 seconds remaining in the penalty time to McMillan. Here's Baker into the St. Louis zone. Curry in pursuit. Resch way out of the net again. Over to Sutter. Chico has to hurry to get back into the goal as Sutter tried to put it in front. It's picked off by Ashton for Colorado. Penalty time has expired. McMillan is back on. The Rockies have successfully killed a penalty against Bobby McMillan. Still 5-1. Colorado leading it with 15-16 remaining. Here the Blues back. Zook a drive. Knocked down by Ramage. Shot fired wide to the left. It comes back out to Baker. He fires. That finds its way through traffic, but hit the legs of Tony Curry. Goes up into the crowd, and that stops play.
I'll tell you, these Colorado Rockies are really using the body here tonight. Wayne Babbage would like to forget that last shift. He took 2 good thumpings from the Colorado Rockies as we get a quick look at Bill Baker. Of course, part of that great team, that U.S. Olympic team that won the gold medal up in Lake Placid. Recently acquired from these Colorado Rockies, playing a regular shift on defense for the St. Louis Blues.
Ramage clears out to center ice. Baker comes away with it. Now Curry drives it back into the Colorado end. Resch back of the goal. Broughton. Baker takes a run at him. Puck cleared away from in front by Micheletti. And the Rockies come back out again with Ashton leading the way. Drives it back into the St. Louis end. Liut started to go out after it. Baker gets there. Liut goes back into the goal. Baker leaves it off on the side for Zook. It's cleared out to center ice for Sutter. Brian Sutter trying to get around Rob Ramage. Does. He has Micheletti in front of him. Drives his shot way wide to the right of the goal, and the Rockies pick it up. Broughton clears out to the center line, but it's held in by the Blues. Back of the goal now. Micheletti comes away with it for Colorado. Joe Micheletti, who just donned the colors of the Colorado Rockies, trading them for the Blues of the St. Louis Blues, playing against his old teammates for the first time. Here's Klassen, a drive. Resch saves, and the rebound cleared away from in front by Nicholson. Pass deflected. Ashton off the boards all the way down into the St. Louis zone. This will bring an icing call. We'll take the opportunity to pause with our score Colorado 5 and St. Louis 1.
first, Aaron Brott. Well, Joe, it looks like this one's just about out of reach.
Getting there in a hurry.
Boom, 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 boom.
Joe Boyle beats Demkowski back here in Denver. Face off in the Colorado zone. Held in by Joe Mullen. Around the boards. Now Lorimer for Colorado. Can't get it by LaPointe. LaPointe there to hold it in. Rockies come away with it, however, and it's cleared out to center ice by Dobson for Colorado. Klassen dumps it right back into the Rocky zone. Hustling back after it is Maxwell. Puck comes right out front, picked off by the Rockies, though, as Cameron is decked, but he got the pass away and cleared it out to center ice. Rick LaPointe, headmans for Wilson. Rick Wilson trying to move in front, jam it in. Puck slides back of the goal, and Maxwell comes away with it for Colorado. Seemingly content right now to just try to keep the puck out of their zone. Dobson goes down. Cameron gets all tied up with LaPointe. Cameron and LaPointe.
Well, they just met, and, well, there they go. I don't know what started that one.
You won't call that love at first
Cameron
sight.
and LaPointe, neither one of them that I know of are known for their fisticuffs. But they
Cameron's
certainly,
getting in a few right there.
this quite an enthusiastic crowd tonight, and certainly the Colorado Rockies have given these people here plenty to cheer about as the linesmen are in there breaking it up. Cameron for the Rockies and LaPointe for the St. Louis Blues. Hey, listen, if you like what you're seeing here tonight, why not join us on the 17th of January, Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be in Bloomington, Minnesota for the much improved Chicago Blackhawks. They will be in an interdivisional game with the Minnesota North Stars. We'll see. So far, Cord, Smith, Cicerelli, they'll all be with us as we see LaPointe in the penalty box for the St. Louis Blues.
While we wait for the penalty to be handed out, we received word that Joe Cirella is okay. He did injure a nerve in his leg, but it's nothing serious, and they don't expect him to miss any action. Our attendance, just about 8,000 tonight here in Denver, Colorado, with the Rockies holding a 5-1 lead as Cameron and LaPointe both go 5 minutes for fighting. So they'll lose their services for the next 5 minutes, but nobody will play short on the coincidental penalties. Face off at center ice, controlled by the Rockies. This is Micheletti back after it. Micheletti back at the goal. Malinowski peels off, and Micheletti will come out with it. Banked it off the glass to Malinowski at center ice. Sends it over to McMillan. McMillan with Cirella. Well, as a matter of fact, Cirella's back on the ice now. So obviously the injury not serious at all. Puck in the St. Louis zone. Micheletti gets off the quick shot. That hits traffic. Picked up and cleared down the ice by Babbage as he tried to hit Pedersen, breaking for the Colorado zone. But the Rockies able to get a stick on it, deflect it, and we'll have a face-off coming up with 12:39 remaining, and Colorado holding a 5-1 lead. And another reminder to be sure to join Tom Mees each Thursday here on your Total Sports Network, ESPN, for This Week in the NHL. All the late-breaking stories in the National Hockey League. You get a look at some action from the previous week's games, and if there's anything newsworthy happening, you'll hear about it in This Week in the NHL here on your Total Sports Network, ESPN, each Thursday. So join Tom and the rest of his gang on This Week in the NHL. Puck in the St. Louis zone, now held in by Malinowski. Tried to put it in front. Kia comes away with it. McMillan after him. Malinowski trying to get it to Lever out front. Babbage there to break that up. It comes to Micheletti. Drives the shot. Misses way wide on the right. Comes out to Cirella. Cirella lines it up. He fires. Kia down in front to block that. Cirella there to hold it in, but Kia got the mid on it. Knocked it out. Held in by the Rockies again. Good job by Lever. Here's Malinowski. Malinowski for McMillan on the near side. Centering pass. McMillan knocked down for the Blues by Brownscheitel. Now Kia takes it away. Cirella drive. Again, Kia in front of that to make the block as the St. Louis defensemen stand tall and break up the Colorado offensive. 11:48 remaining in the third period. Colorado up by 4 at 5-1. They have the puck in their own zone. Ashton at center ice. Puts it at the skates of Tambellini. Tambellini with Broughton trailing on the play. Trying to get it back to Broughton. Broken up by Sutter. But Broughton comes up with the puck and then is decked and loses it. Now Jerry Hart peels away with it for the St. Louis Blues, back of his own goal. Ashton out front. It's tipped out to center ice by Sutter. And Rob Ramage back in his own zone for the Rockies to pick it up. Broughton trying to tip it out to center, fails to do so. Sutter out front on the far side, a shot by Zook. That hits traffic in front. Zook goes to the boards on the far side with Ashton. It's picked off by the Rockies. They clear it down into the St. Louis zone. Icing is waved off as Jerry Hart goes back to pick it up for the Blues. Whips it out to Zook at his own blue line. Now Zook crosses the center line, got by one man at the Colorado blue line, and then lost his stick as he was checked solidly. Tambellini got around Zook, crosses the center line to the St. Louis blue line. Drop pass. Ashton drives a shot. Scores! Ashton from Tambellini. It is 6-1.
Nice play by Steve Tambellini, starting inside his own zone. Gets in over the blue line, drops an innocent-looking play here to Ashton. Ashton just shoots it on the eye. I think Liut was fooled on this play. Here's Ashton letting the puck go. Liut partially screened on the play. And Ashton picking up the score for the Colorado Rockies. Here you see Tambellini getting in over the blue line, dropping the puck to Ashton. Here you'll see the shot right at the top of your screen. Ashton lets it go. A wrist shot right through the legs of Mike Liut. Ashton from Tambellini with just over 10 minutes to go in period 3. The Rockies 6, the St. Louis Blues 1.
14th goal of the year for Ashton. Here come the Blues back. Saved by Resch. Off Klassen right in front of the second save by Chico Resch. And Winsink clears the puck out to center ice. Brownscheitel after it, and Dobson after him. Brownscheitel clears out to center. Klassen lost control of it. Maxwell steers it back to Ramage. Ramage, long pass up the left side for Winsink. He can't catch up with it. Liut way out of the goal. Smothers the puck, and that brings a stoppage of play in the St. Louis end with 10:13 remaining in the third period.
The thing that I don't understand, Joe, we'll look at Chico Resch here. Here's Klassen coming in. He's got one-on-one with Chico Resch. Resch makes the first save, able to cover and clear the rebound just ahead of Barry Turnbull. The thing that I don't understand is that the game is out of reach, I would say, for the St. Louis Blues right now. Mike Liut plays a lot of hockey for the Blues. Why don't they take him out and put Gary Edwards in the net? I don't understand it.
You're talking to the wrong man. Here's Rick Wilson. Intercepted and broken up by Maxwell for Colorado. Dumps it back for Lorimer. Lorimer had some trouble digging it out from between his skates. Now gets it up to Dodson, who clears it out to center ice for Winsink. Winsink taken into the boards by Wilson. Got by him. Winsink back at the goal. Avoids the check by Klassen. And down on top of the puck goes Maxwell to stop play. A faceoff will come up now in the St. Louis zone. As you look at Kevin Maxwell, formerly of the Minnesota North Stars.
Well, Lou Nanny certainly would like to help out these Colorado Rockies because, well, listen, we got a big draft coming up in the summertime, and the prize package is a youngster by the name of Brian Bellows, who's playing right now for the Kitchener Rangers in the Ontario Hockey Association. And, well, Louis has Detroit's #1 pick, so he'd kind of like to see Detroit finish way down there, so he could pick up that pick. So Maxwell and Dobson were shipped here to the Colorado Rockies a week or so ago.
Here's the Blues back with Babbage driving a shot that's deflected. We'll have a face-off coming up. Chico Resch, busy man tonight, has saved on 25 out of 26 St. Louis shots.
Been very impressed by the physical play of the Colorado Rockies tonight. Not only their defensemen taking men out at the blue line and inside the corners, but the forwards are doing a good job of using their body and forechecking, and as a result, the Rockies are winning this hockey game.
Chico's not only had a good night in goal, but he's also got himself an assist, so he's had a pretty active night. Here's McMillan in pursuit as Liut has the puck back of his own goal, clears it away from McMillan. Baker back of the goal as Lever forces him out. He gets it over to Jerry Hart. Hart, headman's at center ice, gets it up to Dunlop. Dunlop away from one man. Lorimer takes him into the boards. Dunlop takes it loose, has it out front to Hart, deflected by Pedersen, and it goes wide. Dunlop in behind the goal after it. Nicholson after him. Nicholson's lost his stick. Like to get a face-off if he can, but the puck comes loose. Dunlop with it, checked off his stick, picked up by Jorgen Pedersen. Jorgen Pedersen with it, trying to get by Lorimer. Trying to put it out front, but Lever there to intercept, but we've got a penalty coming up. So while we have the opportunity, we'll pause with our score. Colorado 6 and St. Louis 1. Holding.
Two minutes for holding. Time of the penalty, 11:15. Malinowski for holding.
16. Here we'll see a what you constant. What was the time on that, Joe? 11:15. Merlin Malinowski here putting the grab on the St. Louis Blue player. So at 11:15 of this third period, Malinowski 2 minutes for hooking the Blues on a power play.
Faceoff will come in the Colorado zone. The only St. Louis goal of the game has come on the power play, their first power play effort back in the first period. Colorado able to clear this one down the ice, back into the St. Louis zone. This is Rick Wilson with it. Sends it rink wide to Jack Brownscheitel. Brownscheitel, headman's at center ice, got it to Zook. Zook to Sutter. Near corner, back of the goal, he slides it, trying to get it over to Curry, but it's broken up by Micheletti. Now Curry regains possession, drops it behind him for Zook. Zook, off the stick. Wilson goes all the way back down into the St. Louis zone. So the Blues will have to go back and start all over again with 1:25 remaining in the penalty times of Malinowski. Now Sutter up the left wing. Into the Colorado zone. Drops it off for Zook. Return pass Sutter. Back of the net with it. Tried to put it out front. Didn't have complete possession. And Wilson has it at the point for the Blues. Far corner now to Zook. Back of the goal for Sutter. Nobody out front. One of the Colorado defenders almost fell down. There's a shot by Wilson. Resch made the save. And that brought a quick whistle.
Well, what
broke
the...
Chico Resch's stick, I believe.
Well, no, that's not the reason for it. The referee, Greg Medill, had lost sight of the puck. And in hockey, the rule is if you don't know where the puck is and you're the referee, you blow the whistle. The puck actually hit Resch. Resch went down. He didn't know where it was. Medill's looking for it. He'll see the shot from the point by Wilson. And Resch makes the save. It actually hits his stick. Now it goes bounding up in the air. Nobody seems to know where the puck is for a minute, including the referee. And he whistles the play dead. 1:03 to go in the penalty, the 2-minute hooking penalty to Colorado's Merlin Malinowski. We have 7:47 to go in period 3.
Face-off control by the Blues. Oh, and Resch just got the stick on it. It trickled off the blocking pad of Chico. Resch appeared to be just on the goal line, and Resch able to get his stick on it and sweep it out of there before it would cross the line. And the crowd sets up the chant of Chico, Chico. Turnbull back into the Colorado zone. Broughton picks it up. Clears it across the blue line. Blues will have to get back onside. 35 seconds remaining in the penalty time to Malinowski. St. Louis with the puck. Now here's Joe Mullen. Mullen moving in. Shoots, missed wide to the right. Did a good move on the defender and got around him, but his shot was just off target as his stick was partially tied up. And the Rockies able to clear it down the ice again.
Nice solo effort by the youngster, Joe Mullen, able to get through the Colorado Rocky defense. A little off balance when he took that shot, shot it wide. Chico Resch coming up big for the Rockies.
Turnbull in his own zone with 7 seconds remaining in the power play. 6:50 remaining in the third period of this one. Colorado very comfortably in front by a 6-1 margin. No call, and the crowd not happy about that as Maxwell was dumped. Now the puck picked up by Cameron, looking for a face-off if he can get it. He and LaPointe tie it up, but the puck comes loose again, still in the St. Louis zone. This is Maxwell back after it. Centering pass, deflected, and it's just outside the blue line. The Colorado Rockies have to get back onside. They dump it back into the blue zone, and LaPointe carried it too far. Reminder about that big basketball triple-header coming up Saturday, January 9th here on ESPN. It all gets underway at 1:30 Eastern Time when Louisville takes on Virginia Tech. And then Saturday night at 8 Eastern Time, Maryland and Duke tangle. And at 10 Eastern Time, 7 Pacific Time, Brigham Young and Wyoming will have at it. All the action is live, and it's all here for you to enjoy Saturday, January the 9th on your Total Sports Network ESPN.
Well, Chico Resch, a couple of good saves right from the face-off here. You see Turnbull lets the shot go. Resch makes the save. Now you see it trickling, just ready to go over the line. Joe Mullen trying to get his stick on it. Resch able to cover up on the play. Rick LaPointe gets a 2-minute penalty. What was that penalty?
Delay of game.
Delay of game, and as you saw it, he picked up, instead of pushing the puck forward with his hand, closed his hand on it, gets a 2-minute penalty for delay of game.
So now Colorado on the power play as the Blues failed to convert on their power play opportunity. Ramage clears the puck around the boards and sets off in pursuit, but Lever picks it off for the Rockies. Now gets it to Micheletti. Micheletti crosses the center line into the St. Louis zone, feeds it over to Lever. He shoots. Liut saves. Loose puck in front. McMillan scores! 4th goal of the game for Bobby McMillan. He did it again.
Bobby McMillan has 4 goals, and this hockey game goes high on Liut. Bobby McMillan gets 9, 10, 11, and 12 tonight. We'll look at the replay again. Number 6 for the Colorado Rockies. You'll see him come in here. Joe Micheletti takes the shot. Here's McMillan coming in late. Number 12 lets that shot go high. And the people here in Colorado are enjoying this immensely. Here's the shot right there. Liut makes the save. The puck comes straight out in front. Here's McMillan coming in late. Gets that shot up and over the right shoulder of Mike Liut. And number 12, Bobby McMillan, 4 goals tonight. The Rockies really giving it to the Blues by a score of 7-1.
Second power play goal of the game for the Rockies. McMillan has both of them. Here's Wilson back for St. Louis as the Rockies now lead it 7-1. Blues with the puck. Back of the goal. This is Pedersen trying to put it in front. Dunlop with another save by Resch. Point blank range, and another save by Resch off the stick of Wilson. This one goes into the crowd. Stoppage of play with the score, Colorado 7, St. Louis 1.
Hey, listen. I can't hear when you're saying commercial, dude. That's why we had a problem. I can't hear when you're telling Joe we're going to commercial. I haven't heard you the last 3 times, Jim. I hear you now, but I didn't know you were going to commercial then. Well, that's why I open up my big mouth. I don't know we're going. All right. Chico Resch just outstanding in the nets for the Colorado Rockies. Here you see number 19 for the St. Louis Blues right there. One shot. Resch able to make the save on Dunlop and then making the second save, and the puck goes over the glass. That man big in the nets tonight for the Colorado Rockies.
Puck comes out to center ice. Both teams back at full strength now after the Colorado goal that wipes out the penalty time on LaPointe. Rockies trying to clear it out of their own zone, succeed in doing so. Baker after it. Broughton rode him right off the puck, and Aaron Broughton about to be called for hooking, I believe. So Colorado will go right back on the short end of the manpower situation.
When we look at the youngster from the University of Minnesota, his brother Neil playing for the Minnesota North Stars, out right now with an ankle injury. He goes to the penalty box. We'll look at it again. Here you see the hook right there, getting that stick up underneath the St. Louis Blue player, and the referee Greg Medill right on the spot. And Aaron Broughton takes 2 minutes for hooking. This one is completely Colorado's. They'll move 2 points closer to the Los Angeles Kings in the Smythe division, and a big loss. I'm sure that the Glenn Somnor, Lou Nanny and company in Minnesota very happy with tonight's result.
Everybody in Chicago also in that tight Norris division race. Broughton for hooking at 15:01. St. Louis trailing by 6 big goals as the Colorado Rockies have turned it on 7-1 over the St. Louis Blues. And I'm sure it's been a while since the Rockies have had what you might consider a lapper. They got one going here. At center ice, puck comes into the Colorado zone. Sutter and Lorimer go in after it, held in by Brownschidel. Brownschidel moving in, has the puck stolen away by Tambellini, and Tambellini feeds it up ice to Ashton. Ashton wheels away at center ice, drops it back into his own zone to Lorimer. Now Tambellini with it as the Rockies doing a good job at killing time. Clear it back down the ice. They ran off 50 seconds on the clock with just 1:10 remaining now in the penalty time to Aaron Broughton. As Rick Wilson starts back to his own blue line, feeds it out at center ice for Curry. Sutter picks it up into the Colorado zone. Curry with the pass along the near boards, goes to the near corner. McMillan checking him. They drop it off to Sutter. Return pass comes to Mike Zook. Zook back at the goal for Curry as St. Louis gets it set up. Curry and Zook crisscross. They have it out front to Brownschidel. Got by one man. Moves in, shoots, and Resch makes the save. 40 seconds remaining in the penalty time to Broughton. Back at the goal, Zook comes away with it for the Blues. He's all tied up. Sutter along the near boards, or Curry rather. Slides it out to the point. Brownschidel holds it in. Resch got a stick on that. Resch trying to trap it up alongside the boards. And they're dropping gloves now as Sutter is about to go at it with Graham Nicholson. They have each other pretty well tied up.
Well, the youngster Graham Nicholson, who was the property of the Boston Bruins, And taking on one of the tough guys in the National Hockey League, Brian Sutter. Just over 3 minutes to go in this third period. We'll be back with more right after this. In the game or in the period?
Joe Boyle beats Timkowski back here at McNichols Arena in Denver, Colorado. And Don Lever talking things over with Chico Resch.
He certainly, along with the Calgary connection, has been a big reason for the big game that the Colorado Rockies have played tonight. I thought the defense of the Rockies has played outstanding, but when there has been defensive lapses inside their zone, Chico Resch has come up with a big save.
Nicholson and Sutter both got 5 minutes for fighting, and since there's only 3.5 left in the game, they have both gone to the dressing room. They are through for the night. Neither team playing shorthanded with the coincidental penalties again. LaPointe back of his own goal. McMillan got the stick in there. Now Baker loses the puck out front. Leave it to McMillan. He already has 4 goals. This pass went right underneath the stick. I wonder if Bobby's ever had a 5-goal game in the NHL. Not too many players have. Klassen feeds it over to Turnbull. Turnbull into the Colorado zone, drives his shot. He's way wide on the left with it. It comes back along the near boards to Baker. Baker drops it off for Joe Mullen. Out front, Klassen got a shot off. That's off Kitchen's legs. That hurt him a little bit, but he blocked the shot. Backhand shot by Klassen. Kitchen had that deflected off his legs. Goes back of the goal. Resch again way out of the goal. McMillan along the near boards ties up with Turnbull. Klassen gets in there, and we'll have a face-off coming up.
Well, it's been the Bobby McMillan show here tonight. Great performance by that youngster, just recently acquired from the Calgary Flames of the Lanny McDonald deal. He is the brother of the general manager of the Colorado Rockies, Billy McMillan. 4 goals for Bobby Mack tonight. And that line of Merlin Malinowski, Don Lever, and Bobby McMillan certainly has provided a lot of excitement and will in the games to come for the Colorado Rockies. Looks like a pretty good deal for both teams.
Yep, coming out that way. Here's Nil with the drive for St. Louis. Misses wide on the right-hand side. And Cameron clears the puck back down into the St. Louis zone. They wave off any icing call as Brownscheitel catches up with it. 2.5 minutes remaining in this one, and Colorado has it all tucked away. They'll be within 5 points now of the Los Angeles Kings as they try to get into the playoff picture in the Smythe division. And for the St. Louis Blues, a disappointment, of course. They had hoped to be able to take over sole possession of first place in the Norris division, which a win tonight would have gotten for them. But right now, they're on the short end of a 7-1 score, and down in front to block that goes Mike Kitchen off the stick of Mike Zook. Kitchen got it caught up in his uniform, and that stopped play.
Mike Kitchen, been here for about 5 years, originally with Kansas City. Sliding out to make the save. I'm sure Chico Resch appreciates that. The Colorado Rockies doing everything tonight that they haven't been doing in the first half of the season. The Rockies, the lowest scoring team in the National Hockey League, pick up 7 here tonight. They've also been had the second worst goals against in the National Hockey League up until now. They've only allowed 1 goal against so far tonight. 2 minutes to go in this third period.
And that 1 goal was a power play goal. So the Rockies have done very well in both departments thus far in this one against the St. Louis Blues. Rockies in possession at center ice with 1:50 to go. Here's Tambellini setting sail for the St. Louis end again. Got away from a check by Wilson. His centering pass deflected, and Brownscheitel comes away with it for St. Louis. Into the Colorado end. Off the boards, Aaron Broughton picks it up. Broughton feeds the pass to Ashton. That in turn intercepted by the Blues, and Babbage puts it in.
Look at Jürgen Pettersson of the St. Louis Blues, one of the many Swedes who are in the National Hockey League today. Wayne Babbage hasn't seen much ice time here in this third period. He had 1 shift that we mentioned, Joe. He got bumped 2 or 3 times. Just took a couple of real hard hits, and he hasn't really played that much in this third period.
Both teams playing without some of their regulars. Flu going around the league. Some injuries have hit both clubs. Fedorko out of the St. Louis lineup. Foster out of the Colorado lineup. Here's Rick LaPointe back of his own goal. We're down to 1:10 remaining in the game. Just a matter of the final score now. Jorgen Pedersen in pursuit. Micheletti trying to get there first, and Micheletti went into the boards hard. Missed the check as he tried to hit Pedersen, and really went into the boards, but he's up and underway. Wants a relief on the ice, however. Here is Colorado back again. Ashton back at the goal. Ashton with it out front, alone. There's Tambellini back to Ashton, fires a shot that goes off the leg of LaPointe into the near corner. Tambellini out to Sorella. His drive is wide on the right side. 40 seconds remaining in the game, and the Blues clear it out to center ice again. Turnbull into the Colorado end. Turnbull backhand shot. Resch saves, drops it back of the goal. Sorella around the boards for McMillan. Klassen cuts in and intercepts. Here's Turnbull right into the crease area, and again, Chico Resch steered it wide. Bobby McMillan got a stick on it. Malinowski up the right side, and we had an offside call at the blue line. McMillan already with 4 goals. You can see that glint in his eye as he headed towards the other end with 12 seconds left.
Well, also, Joe, I can see the difference that it's made in Merlin Malinowski.
Oh, yeah, very
I have not
aggressive
seen
game
him
by him.
skate the way he's skating here tonight. He's been given a couple of gifted wingers, and
Well, that's kind of catching, though, isn't it, Pete? When you got guys like McMillan and Lever out there hustling, you really can't
a
do much but keep up with them.
Well,
You're
you
really
like
gonna look
you like
bad.
your wingers to be able to skate, and you're able to give them the puck. Lever's an outstanding skater. McMillan's certainly a great goal scorer and a great skater. This is rejuvenated Merlin Malinowski. They've been on his case here somewhat in Colorado. He's having an outstanding game here tonight for the Rockies.
Played very well. Just 10 seconds left here in the third period. The Colorado Rockies up 7-1. Crowd beginning to count the time down. Lorimer clears out to center ice. There it is. There is the final buzzer.
And they love it here. A standing ovation for the Colorado Rockies, and that band certainly played a large part in what happened here tonight. As we see the enthusiastic fans here at the McNichols Arena, the Colorado Rockies winning it, going away 7-1.
7-1 our final. Quickly the scoring in the third period, all for Colorado. Steve Tambellini at 1:52, Brent Ashton at 9:15, and Bob McMillan his 4th goal of the game at 14:16 of the period. And the Colorado Rockies come away with a 7-1 victory over the St. Louis Blues tonight. 10-8 the shots on goal in favor of St. Louis in that third period. Our final score again 7-1, Colorado over St. Louis. We'll be back right after this. .28 for Colorado and 31 for St. Louis. Shots on goal. Here.
Here are the shots on goal in the third period. St. Louis had 10, Colorado had 8. Total shots on goal in the game, the Blues had 31 and the Rockies had 28. Now fans, here are the top 3 stars of the game as selected by the media. Third star of the game, number 1 of Colorado, Glenn Chico Resch.
That's number 3, right? Number 3.
Second
Chico
star
Resch.
of the game, also of the Rockies, number 9, Don Lever. And a player who scored his 4th career hat trick and the first Rocky ever to get 4 goals in one game, Bobby McMillan.
Bobby McMillan. Oh, Chico Resch.
Yeah.